Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Foundercube, a website dedicated to providing resources for entrepreneurs. In this video, we will learn how to create a beautiful WordPress website in within 20 minutes with no coding required at all. By the end of this video, you will be able to create websites such as this one right here, and we can see that it's a very nice and beautiful looking website. More importantly, we will make sure that the websites we create are completely mobile responsive, as we can see on the screen right here that it looks very nice on our mobile screen. So that's pretty cool. So once we do that, we will make sure that our websites are not just good looking, but they perform very well. If we take a look at this page over here, we can see that for a test website that I created, we have a very high performance grade, our load time is below 1 second, and we are faster than 93% of tested websites. We achieve this by downloading the right plugins and using the correct web hosting company. So with that said guys, if this is something that interests you, then go ahead and click the subscribe button below. I would greatly appreciate your support. And with that said, if you're ready, then I'm ready, and let's get this tutorial started. So to get things started, I went ahead and put a link in the video description below. This link will take you to our resources page where you can follow along with what I'm saying in this tutorial. So I highly encourage you to click this link as it will help you keep track with what I'm saying. Alright, so let's go ahead and click this link right here. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here which says how to make a WordPress website. And right here we will see a get started button. So go ahead and click that. So once you click that, you will be directed to this section in the page where it says watch the video to get started. Now this is the video you're currently watching, so you don't have to watch it again. Alright, so just skip down over here to where it says step 1, get domain name. So in our first step, we're gonna go ahead and pick a domain name for our website. Now think of your domain name as a name for your website, like for example foundercube.com. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick a domain name that is very simple to remember for users. Now I went ahead and attached a tool right here in which you can go ahead and enter your domain name and then check its availability by clicking this button right here. So let's go ahead and use this tool right here. I'm going to go ahead and use the domain name fctutorials.com, and once we have our domain name picked, I'm going to go ahead and press this check domain button right here. Now let's give it a second while it loads. So there we go, we can see that congratulations, fctutorials.com is available. So once you have a domain name that is available, we can now move on to our next step, which is get web hosting. Okay, so we can see over here, step 2, get web hosting. Now web hosting is another very important step in creating a website. Think of a web host as an apartment that you rent. For example, when you rent an apartment, you pay for that apartment to live in it. In the same way, you will pay a web hosting company for your website to live on the internet. Okay, so a web host is what puts your website on the internet. So it's important that we pick a good web host. For this tutorial, we will be using SiteGround web hosting. Now, SiteGround is an extremely popular and very highly rated web host. If you want to know exactly why you should pick SiteGround, well, I've stated some facts over here. It loads 8 times faster than 93% of other web hosting companies. It's extremely cheap at $4 per month. It's officially recommended by WordPress themselves. The support team can be reached 24/7. And it has a very high rating of 4.98 out of 5, and this is based on over 834 reviews. So it's very highly rated and has amazing features, okay? And to top it all off guys, Foundercube has gained exclusive access to a 60% discount on all first year hosting plans. So by clicking this button right here, you will get a 60% discount on all your hosting plans for your first year. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and click this button. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here, which is SiteGround's pricing page. And now if I zoom in right here, we can see that all the plans are off by 60% right here. So that's pretty cool, okay? Now there are 3 different plans you can pick from. The first one being a startup plan, the second grow big, and the last one go geek. Now this really depends on your particular needs as to which plan you should pick. I would recommend that as a beginner when you're creating your first WordPress website to start off with the startup plan, simply because it's the most economical and cost effective, and then depending on how your website grows, you can always upgrade to the grow big or go geek plan. So once you have a plan picked, just go ahead and press this get started button right here. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here where we're gonna go ahead and enter our domain name. We can see it costs $14 a year. So let's go ahead and enter our domain name. Once we have our domain name in place, let's go ahead and press the proceed button right here. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here where it says congratulations, domain fctutorials.com is available for registration. Okay, so now we can go ahead and enter our account information. But before we do that, there are a couple things that I want to talk about. So let's just scroll down over here to where it says purchase information. So right here, Okay, now the first thing is this plans tab right here. Make sure you actually pick the right plan. So in my case, it's the startup plan. If you want to change your plan, you can simply click this icon right here and then change to a different plan. Okay. Now the same thing applies for your data center. I would recommend picking a data center that is closest to your location. For example, since I live in Canada, I will pick the data center Chicago, which is in the USA. However, you can change this up. You can go with Amsterdam, Singapore, London, Milan. Is really up to your location. So once you have a data center that's closest to you picked, the next one is your pricing period plan. I would highly recommend that you stick with the 12-month default, just because think of your website as an investment and the 12 months gives your website a time to grow. So once we have that done, let's scroll down over here to the next section right here where it says extra services. Now these are some extra services that SiteGround recommends. The first one being domain registration, which is the price that you pay for your domain name, which is compulsory. Okay, so that's $14.95. The next one is domain privacy, which is $12 a year. I would highly recommend that you pay for this just because it keeps your personal information private and doesn't let people spam you. Okay. The next one being a site scanner. Now I would highly recommend to not click this simply because the site scanner is not something that is really required. There are a bunch of free WordPress plugins that offer the same functionality. So for now, go ahead and untick this. And once you have that done, you should see a total of $74. Okay. So once we have our services and settings in place, now we can go ahead and enter our information. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So once you have your information filled out, let's scroll down to the bottom of the page over here. And let's go ahead and press this Pay Now button. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here, which is essentially just a confirmation/thank you page. So we can see right here, it says your account has successfully been created. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and proceed to our customer area. So let's go ahead and press this button right here. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here where we are asked for our username and password. And you can find your username and password on the email that you registered your account with, and it will be provided to you by SiteGround. So simply go to your email account. Once you find your username and password, just enter them in and then go ahead and press the sign in button when you're done. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. And there we go. So we can see that this is where we are directed and this is the backend to our website. And this is where we can find all information about our website. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do over here is on the top left right here where my cursor is, we're going to go ahead and click this tab which says My Accounts. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here where we can see a brief summary of our site information. For example, our primary domain name, our DNS servers, our account IP, and a lot of more information. Now, these are things that you don't have to concern yourself with as a beginner. What you need to be looking out for is where it says right here, go to Cpanel. So where my cursor is, go ahead and find that button and then click it. So once we do that, we will see this pop-up appear over here where it says access Cpanel securely. Just make sure it's checked and then press the proceed button. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here, which is our Cpanel homepage. And now you might be asking yourself, well, what exactly is a Cpanel? Now think of Cpanel as a universal directory where you can get all information about your website. For example, if we scroll down over here, we can get information about our domain. Over here, if we scroll down, we have different site improvement tools, our WordPress tool, our mailing tools, and then we can keep scrolling down. We have our software, files, databases, etc. Right? Now, I know that this might be a bit confusing for now, but I promise you that it's very straightforward and 90% of the stuff over here, you really don't need to know as a beginner. Okay? However, a couple of things that I want to show you very quickly is if, let's say, for example, you want to search something in your Cpanel, on the left over here where my cursor is, you can simply go ahead and search it right here. For example, if you want to search WordPress tools, you type WordPress and you can simply get all your WordPress tools right here. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So with that said, guys, now the next thing we're going to do in our Cpanel is we're going to go ahead and install WordPress. All right. So to install WordPress, it's very straightforward. Where my cursor is right now, where it says WordPress installer, just simply go ahead and click that. So once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here. And on the top left, we will see an install button right here. So just go ahead and click that. Once you click that, we will have our software setup options. Now go ahead and skip these first three options. They're not important. In the second section right here where it says site settings, feel free to go ahead and give your site a name. I went ahead and call my site FC Tutorials and give your site a description if you want. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and give my description as WordPress tutorial. All right. So once we have these details in play, we can skip down to our next section. Now this is a very important section because this asks us for our username and password. Now with this username and password, we will be able to access our website. So it's very important that you note this username and password down. Feel free to go ahead and change this username and password to whatever you want, something that you can remember. For tutorial purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and use these two. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy them onto Notepad. I highly suggest that you note them down somewhere yourself, just so that we have good memory of what our username and passwords are. All right. So once we have our username and passwords in play, we can skip down. The stuff over here is not important. And then right here, we will see an install button. So once you're done, just go ahead and click that. So once we do that, we can see that SiteGround has began installing WordPress for us. It was really that simple. It took about 2 to 3 clicks, and we can see that WordPress has finished installing. It was really that simple. All right. So once that is done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy this URL right here, because this URL is how we're going to access our website. All right. So let's just go ahead and copy this very quickly. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste it onto Notepad. And once again, I highly recommend that you do the same. Okay, so once we have our login URL, our password and username good to go, now we can go ahead and actually access our website. All right, so let's get right to that. I'm going to go ahead and once again copy this, go to my Chrome browser, and let's go ahead and paste it. And let's give this a second. And there we go. We can see that this is how we access our website. All right. Now this is where we put in our username and password. So I really do hope that you save them somewhere. Let's go ahead and enter that right now. Okay. And same thing with our password. And then once you have your username and password entered, go ahead and press the login button right here. So once we do that, we will be directed to WordPress's backend, and we can see that this is what it looks like. It's a very simple and clean dashboard. On the left over here, we have the different tabs that we can go ahead and use to customize our website. For example, if you want to add a new page to your website, simply click on this Pages tab right here and press the Add New button. If you want to add a new post, once again, just press the Add New button. New media, new comments, plugins, the list goes on. It's very simple and intuitive to use. Now with that said, if you want to see what your website looks like, on the top left over here, just go ahead and press this Visit Site button. So once we do that, we will be directed to our home page, and we can see that WordPress has installed a default landing page for us. And if I scroll down over here, we can see that it's a very generic and simple landing page. Now with that said, in the upcoming steps, we're going to go ahead and begin customizing our website to make it look really nice. All right. So the first step in customizing our website is to download and install a page builder plugin. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's go back to our WordPress dashboard by hitting this button on the top left and then selecting the dashboard tab. All right, so go ahead and do that. So once we do that, we will once again be back in our WordPress dashboard, and on the left over here, scroll down to where it says plugins and then select the second option. Okay. So once we do that, we will see a list of different plugins available to us. Now there are tens of thousands of different plugins available. We're going to go ahead and download our page builder plugin. So in the top right over here in our search bar, go ahead and type in Elementor. Okay, so that's our page builder's name. And there we go. That's our page builder plugin. We can see that it's very highly rated with a 5-star rating from 348 reviews and over 100,000 active installs. All right. So let's go ahead and install this. So just click this button right here, which says install now. And let's give WordPress a second while it installs it. And then once it's installed, go ahead and press this blue button, which says activate. Okay. So once we do that, let's give this a second. And there we go. We can see that our plugin has been activated. Okay, so once we have that confirmation, we can now go ahead and begin customizing our website. So now once we have our plugin activated, let's go ahead and add our first page. So let's go back to our left side over here, and this time go to our Pages tab and select the second option right here. Okay, so once we do that, we will be directed to this page over here, and now we can begin creating our first page. So let's go ahead and give our page a title. I will call it Home. All right, so once we have that done, let's scroll down over here, and on the right here, go ahead and hit this drop down which says default template and select this second option right here. Okay, so once we have that second option selected, and once your page has a title, go ahead and publish the page. So go ahead and click that, and let's give it a second while it loads. Okay, so once we've published our page, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit this blue button right here, and we're going to go ahead and begin customizing our page. All right, so go ahead and click this button right here. So once we do that, we can see that this is a page that comes up. It's divided into two sections. On the left, we have the different tabs that we can go ahead and begin customizing our website with. And on the right, we have a blank sheet in which we will actually put in our page. All right. So let's get to it. Now, the very cool thing about this page builder plugin is that instead of us actually, coming up with a design for our website, it comes with pre-made templates, which we can use. And then, we can further customize these templates to our liking. So let me show you what that looks like. So over here where my cursor is, where it says templates in the bottom, go ahead and click that and then click the templates library option right here. Let's give it a second while it loads, and we can see that there are a list of pre-made templates available for us. So there are homepage templates, and then depending on the particular niche of your website, you can pick that. And then if we scroll down over here, we have one-page templates, about pages, all kinds of cool templates. Now keep in mind, guys, that some of these templates are pro and some are free. So for example, these ones you can use for free, and this one you have to have the pro version. Okay, to get the pro version, you can just simply go back to my website right here and press this button, which will take you to our page builder's website, and you can purchase the pro version for only $49 a year. Okay, so it's very economical, and in my opinion, it's worth it. So with that said, let's start you off with the free version for now, and then if you like it, you can go ahead and pick the pro version. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and pick a default template for now. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and actually use this restaurant themed template. So I can preview it by hitting this magnifying glass right here. And we can see that this is what our template will look like. It's very nice. It's professionally designed, and we can further customize it to however we want. All right. So once we like our template, just press this insert button on the top right. And let's give it a second while it loads. So we can see that this is what our template looks like. I'm going to preview it in full screen, and we can see it looks absolutely beautiful. That was so simple, guys. With one click, we have a nice looking home page, which we can further customize. So I'm going to show you how you can further customize this to make it cater towards your particular business needs. So let's say, for example, you want to change some of this text, some of these pictures. You can simply just go back to our tabs over here, select the section that you want to change. So for example, right here, you can go ahead and say our desserts. We can see that the changes are happening in real time, which is very amazing. You can go over here and change the font color. So for example, if I want it to be something like darker, I can do that. You can play with all kinds of things. If you don't want this to be here, you can actually remove the column. So by pressing this button, you can delete it. I'm going to keep it the way it is. And you can just use your creativity to come up with any kind of homepage that you want using these pre-made templates. All right. So that's pretty cool. So with that said, guys, just use your creativity to come up with nice looking templates. And one more thing that I do want to show you is that once you have a template created, you can further save that template. So let's say, for example, if you save a custom template that you made, let's say you save it as homepage and you press save. Now this custom template will be saved for forever. And if you want at any point in time, come back and reuse the template, you can just use this template and press insert. So you can see this page builder is very powerful and it does all the work for us. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and actually save this. Oh, actually, before we do save it, one more cool thing that I do want to show you is by clicking this button right here, which says responsive mode. So where my cursor is, you can go ahead and see what this template will look like on a mobile device. So we can see that it is very mobile friendly. So that's very cool. And then once again, you can see what it looks like on a tablet. And we can see that once again, it's completely tablet friendly. So like I said, guys, I can't tell you how amazing this plugin is. I use it for all of my websites. So with that said, once you're happy with your design, just save this particular template. And then you can repeat this exact same process for your contact page, about page. They have all kinds of templates for all kinds of pages. So once you have that done, just go ahead and press this X button on the bottom left where my cursor is. And then just go ahead and press view page. And then we can see what our page will look like. So there we go. We can see our page looks very nice. And one thing I do want to mention before we finish or wrap this tutorial up, I don't know if I already mentioned this. If we go back to our dashboard very quickly, just scroll down over here to where it says settings, okay? And where it says readings right here. Make sure where it says front page display to select a static page. and then where it says front page, select your home page. So this makes sure that when somebody types in your URL, so for example, Foundercube or your particular website name, that the home page that we just created will pop up. All right. So be sure to set this over here and press the Save Changes button. Okay, so with that done, that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. You can repeat the exact same steps and come up with any website you want. We can see that it looks very nice, and you can create your about and contact pages. So with that said, guys, that's the end of this tutorial. I really do hope that you liked it. I tried to keep it as short and brief as possible. And if you have any comments or suggestions, just leave them down below. And be sure to check out foundercube.com. I create all kinds of reviews and how-to guides like this one. So I do hope to see you around. And with that said, I'm signing off, and I will see you in the next video.